Hey viewers, welcome to another game as a casual pro gamer. And today we're doing another IEM Kiev match, and it is the second game from the finals. So if you haven't seen any of the other games yet, you don't want to be spoiled, I recommend you go watch them first, or in this case wait for the semifinals to come out, because they haven't been brought out on the official video, so I couldn't comment on them yet. I am doing this finals live, so if you want to see them, then that's fine. You have about 5 seconds to get out of here before we switch to the normal to the stream, and then it will be spoiled who is in the finals. So if you're not gone yet, then I'm assuming you want to see this, and there we go. We go straight into the match. And they just started off. It's about 45 seconds in. The 3-minute queue apparently not lasting 3 minutes this time, because I started off my commentary when the 3-minute queue started. But yeah, that was definitely not 3 minutes. Anyway, the TSM has had some trouble with the bans, basically, because they want to ban all the champions that are so overpowered, as well as, well, the ones that are well played by this enemy team. And there were just too many, but yeah, well, you can imagine with 91 champions that are currently out, yeah, that's 91. If you get 3 bans, that is really not enough. And so they didn't get to ban Nunu, which is really annoying for them. And they are going to pick up the first blood here if they get lucky. Oh, come on. There we go. First blood. They had to expend the clairvoyance to do so. And yeah, that is no problem. I mean, clairvoyance is there to be used. And we see this Nunu getting caught as well, and he dies as well. Wow, this is an awesome start for the TSM team. And yeah, now they're going back in lane. Who got the kills? One of the kills for Tryndamere, one for Sivir. I mean, Sivir was kind of obvious. Yeah, that is a good deal. So Cassiopeia getting 2 assists there, and one of the assists seemed to well, one of the kills seems only to have 1 assist. So Cassiopeia getting 2 assists, which means that Cassiopeia now has a nice amount of gold. Tryndamere has a nice amount of gold, and Sivir definitely has a nice amount of gold. So at least the buffs are safe this time. There are no buff steals for now. They do have, so Moscow 5 again has their Shyvana jungle, and Shyvana jungle has been really strong. And let's see if Korkmar actually survives this engagement, because they have no heal. They only have a couple of healing potions left. And ooh, that was so close. If only he aimed it a little more to the left, that might have been a kill. Because the boomerang blade is really huge on that. So anyway, it's about an 800 gold difference here, which is less than we would expect. We would expect to have about, hang on, 2 kills. One of the first blood normally gives 700 gold. The normal kills give that's 500 gold. So that should be 1200 gold difference, but instead there is only a 600 gold difference. 700. So they might have missed quite a few minions there. And since there were no buffs stolen, at least not that I saw. Blue buff going to Cassiopeia here, by the way. Right off the bat. And it seems they indeed didn't lose a buff, because red buff is now being well, being not stolen, being killed by Lee Sin. And TSM finally being a little more aggressive here. Well, not a little, a lot more aggressive than they were in the previous matches. Shyvana coming in, but Shyvana is not a good ganker, and you can see immediately why. She gets totally melted by this by this Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia, who is really aggressive here versus Mordekaiser and is actually going to kill him. Wow! So a gang coming in, but instead of killing someone, they get killed. That is, yeah, that is amazing. So Irelia versus Tryndamere then. Yeah, Tryndamere is going to dominate that late game, but early game, I think the advantage should go to Irelia. Irelia currently 25 versus 24, so not really up at all. She's one kill behind because she actually got killed. Apparently, don't know who killed her though, because she wasn't one of the earliest ones. And Tryndamere isn't the one that killed. Oh, no, that's not true. Did I actually see that wrong in the beginning? I thought Nunu and oh no, hang on, she was first blood. Sivir killed her really early game. Oh, such a fail. But anyway, yeah, Irelia not having too much trouble, but yeah, she does have to fight the minions at the turret now, and since there is no ward out, Tryndamere is going to spend this time just scouting out the river a little bit, and now going home. I don't know if he spotted the jungler coming in, because it seems like a strange time to go home. No, he didn't. He couldn't have spotted her because, well, there's no ward out. Anyhow, the jungler is so Shyvana is going home as well, and it seems that Moscow 5 cannot employ their really aggressive strategy, and that is going to be changing the way they handle this game. Anyway, Mordekaiser getting damaged quite a lot there by the poison, and yeah, the poison does a lot of damage, and if he cannot reach the minions, then it is going to be really hard for him to do anything. And Nunu hasn't been able to dominate his lane either, so even though they have Nunu, I think it's still going to be Shyvana here that is going to do most of the damage. And is this guy actually going to get out? Wow, that Reginald, man. Yeah, you can see the strength of Cassiopeia there. She can really kite people, do a lot of damage while she's retreating, and that's what you get if you play her really, really well. But oh wow, lots of damage going off from the boomerang blade, and unfortunately they couldn't reach in time to do some to do the final bit of damage to Nunu. But that was some amazing damage from the blade, the boomerang blade, and mid lane is now up to Mordekaiser, by the way. Mordekaiser, who was picked specifically against this Cassiopeia. So I wonder if Mordekaiser is really good against Cassiopeia, because yeah, I would say he's not. Yeah, well, Cassiopeia does a lot of damage over time, but also has a lot of instant damage, so spike damage. And especially if she can get the stun off, I think she can melt Mordekaiser before he can actually get his shield up, where Mordekaiser needs... well, it's really good against champions that do damage over time. So, normally poison champions, I guess. But yeah, as long as he can heal up with his spells and his shield, then they can never do enough damage to him to kill him. But I think Cassiopeia can do plenty of damage, and he just cannot keep up with the shield generation and the spell vamp. Cassiopeia is going to out damage him, I think. But I guess there is no other counter versus Cassiopeia, although, well, just spike damage dealers, I guess, are really good versus her. They're really hard to deal with, so Veigar, LeBlanc, things like that. Champions that really do massive amounts of damage, because Cassiopeia is damage over time and also gains life over time. So, guess there's something to be said for that. Yeah, Cassiopeia doing a lot of damage, and now, yeah, even with the shield generation, the shield immediately evaporates due to the poison. And Cassiopeia is going to get the raids every time. and that means that Mordekaiser cannot. Mordekaiser's strategy normally revolving around getting the rates between waves, which means he can outfarm the opponent, but that's exactly what Cassiopeia has been doing. And she's up 78 to 70, so she's stolen the rates a couple of times, and that makes for all the difference. Meanwhile we see bottom lane is currently about 70 versus about 50, which means that Sivir is dominating that. 20 minions more, that is about 500 gold, and 500 gold, as we all know, is a big deal. I mean, that is in fact just a huge deal, considering that, well, she hasn't had to do anything for that. She does have an extra kill also, which means that they're going to need this dragon to stay in this game, and I wonder if they're actually going to be allowed to do so. There are still, again, a lot of wards out for the purple team. 2 pink wards and a regular ward versus 1 regular ward from the blue team. And oh, Shyvana immediately dying, even though she is kind of the tanky one on the team. And nothing is going to come out of that. So top turret falling. Oh wow, this game is going to TSM. I think they already have it here. Lee Sin gets out at low health. Sona gets out at low health, but that's no problem. I mean, low health is not the problem. Dying is a problem. I mean, you cannot engage at low health, obviously, but still, it is a good deal what they got here. 4-0. And they are in prime position to take this match, and I think with a fat Tryndamere like this, I mean, he got a lot of gold. He has the highest minion count in the game, except for Mordekaiser, it seems. Mordekaiser, of course, is a really quick farmer. He has all AoE skills, and he can farm up really quickly, and even though he has been out of the lane for a lot of time, I mean, just now he got damaged for about 70% of his health, and a nice pink ward here, resulting in an easy dragon for Team Solo Mid, because they know that Mordekaiser isn't there, and they know that Kog'Maw cannot be in this game, or in this fight, and they're going to get a free kill from this as well. CV going down, and yeah, they get a free kill. And yeah, this tower may fall, but Cassiopeia already on her way to save it, and she's going to pick up 2 of the minions, but the at least the experience of the minions, and immediately going back to fight somewhere else. Tryndamere now in the enemy jungle, but the enemy did spot him. He is going to take the red buff, it seems. And Mordekaiser is once again in the jungle, stealing some XP, or getting some XP, I guess. And he is now up 98 to 110. So about 10 minions ahead, a little more. And Cassiopeia is going to have to compete with that. Obviously, Cassiopeia is a good farmer as well, but since Mordekaiser can get all of the minions from the jungle as well, because, well, he's just so quick in getting the waves that between waves he can do something else. And that is a good deal, obviously. So bottom turret falls, which means that it's now 2 turrets and 5 kills versus 0. All that the Moscow 5 have been able to do this game is, well, get minions. That's all they have done. And they haven't outfarmed the enemy team by a lot. I mean, Kog'Maw definitely lost his lane there. He is behind 103 to 81, so that's 25 minions behind. And that is a big deal, obviously. If your AD carry loses his lane, that means that, well, you're basically not going to be able to kill the turrets very quickly. And if you are not going to be able to kill the turrets very quickly, then how are you going to push? Because this team has Sivir, who can basically mow down turrets all on her own with one wave of minions there, as long as there's no one guarding the turret. And yeah, with Mordekaiser there, it is obviously going to be a lot harder, but they are going to be able to zone him out for a few of the minions, because he took one shot at them. They almost died, but not entirely, and this is going to be a fight. And this might actually be an interesting fight, because I don't think that Tryndamere will actually win this yet. But he might have surprised me. Eventually we do not see the fight, but well, was a nice try anyway. So some pink wards out from Team Solo Mid as well, trying to keep control over the vision. And yeah, this is exactly why I said in the previous game they should ban oracles or remove oracles from the game, because this tactic with the pink wards is way more interesting and way more skill based than running around with an oracles on an unkillable character such as Mordekaiser in this game. If you go Oracle's Elixir on Mordekaiser, he can just take out all the wards and nobody can kill him. Because every time someone comes near, he either... Oh, the same goes for Nunu. He either runs away or he kills them. And yeah, unless it's in a team fight, and when you focus him there, then yeah, you're kind of dead anyway. Because you're going to use way too much damage on a tanky champion. And yeah, the only one really able to do anything about that is this Cassiopeia, who is melting his shield away faster than he can build it. Because every time he gets his shield, you see that it immediately drops to 0. And Cassiopeia has been doing a great job of getting the minions and the harassment done. She's now again ahead in minions, 140 to 135. And Irelia is now the one that has the highest minion score. And an easy kill there for the Cassiopeia. Even didn't need the help of Lee Sin. But yeah, she got it anyway. So 6-0 now. And I think Moscow 5 is going to surrender this pretty soon, because there's just nothing they can do. It seems that this game is just not going as they planned it. And Tryndamere in top lane is doing a great job, although he is a little bit behind the minions. He's about 10 minions behind. He has been doing a good job of keeping Irelia out of the fights, and well, even though she has been farming all game, so has he. So as long as she cannot help out the other lanes, because well, she already lost her turret, and because of that she cannot really allow her lane to be vacated. And yeah, she has to stay top lane. So as long as she has to stay top lane, she cannot join in the fight. She does have a teleport, but yeah, well, yeah, they will see her teleport, and this is exactly when she teleported, I think. Or did she? She recalled. Okay, that's fine too. So basically, the team knows exactly, the TSM knows exactly where she is, unless she goes back to base. And yeah, as long as she doesn't come into this fight, or when they do know she's coming into the fight, they can take care of her. And she is now in the fight. The dragon is up, obviously. That's why everyone was here. And Cassiopeia is just going to do a lot of damage, and hopefully we will actually get to see who gets dragon. Dragon is tagged by Lee Sin there. And oh, everyone going on Cassiopeia. I have no idea who got the dragon. Oh, there we go. The blue team got the dragon, and they got 3 kills as well. So it's now 10-1. Wow, 4 kills for 1. Cassiopeia did die, but as I said, she just steals so much life with the spell vamp that she's just impossible to kill. And yeah, that was exactly what we saw there. The Will of the Ancients doing amazing spell vamp, and yeah, making her into a really, really tanky character because she keeps doing damage with her poison and she gets life back from that all the time. And TSM is going to turn this 4 kill into a dragon and a baron. So Cassiopeia was up for that, so they waited a little bit on. Well, they didn't have to wait, I think, but at least all of the team members get this this buff, which is a good deal. And Mordekaiser once again stealing from the jungle, which means that Shyvana is probably not going to be as farmed as she could be. Yeah, she's equal with Lee Sin, which she shouldn't be. She should be way ahead of Lee Sin. Because, well, she's Shyvana, man. She has AoE spells all around, and she can clear the minions from the jungle in a really quick order. And obviously she has a movement speed buff as well, so she can move around the jungle really quickly. Much quicker than Lee Sin normally can. But, well, Lee Sin has some AoE spells as well. But still, she should be able to outfarm him pretty easily. So anyway, I think this is one of the final pushes we're going to see, assuming that TSM doesn't make a big mistake. But 11k gold difference, that's 50% of what Moscow 5 has as gold. So this is what I was talking about. The 10k gold difference doesn't matter as much when you're at 50 to 60 gold, but it does matter a whole lot if you're at 20 to 30k gold, because here you can see how much more damage the blue team does. It is just an amazing amount of damage. And although they do lose one guy, they lose Lee Sin, they easily get two back for it. They get a turret and they now get the opportunity to push in 4v3 on this next turret, and the enemy team cannot really defend this. One boomerang blade on Kog'Maw taking about 40% of his health away, and he has insufficient lifesteal to get that back. He only has some Doran's blades. Doran's blades, really, they might as well remove the lifesteal from it, because it doesn't do you any good in the early game, which is exactly when the Doran's blades are useful. Would be way more important for you to get that late game when you have a lot of damage. But yeah, it just doesn't work that way with the Doran's blades. You're not going to keep them late game because they take up inventory space, they don't do a whole lot. Early game they give you, well, 100 life, as well as the lifesteal that is completely useless, but the extra damage is useful, especially since they nerfed the longsword. Don't know how many people actually noticed that, but they nerfed the longsword to do less damage. And yeah, therefore you pay way less for the Doran's blade now than you would for any other item, just for the damage. And the spell vamp is kind of, well, you don't really need it, you don't really use it. You get like 1.8 life from a complete minion wave if you only last hit. So yeah, what are we talking about here? I mean, 2 life from a complete minion wave, who cares? Anyway, Oracle's on Sona now, and they are going to pick off 2 wards immediately, because for some reason there were 2 wards in the bush, and now there's a 3rd one. But yeah, most of the wards are coming from the Wriggle's lanterns. So obviously not all of them, because there is only, there's only one Wriggle's lantern, two. Aurelia has one, and where did I see the other one? Shyvana has one. Anyway, yeah, going into a team fight here, Shyvana dropping immediately and has to stay out of the fight for the rest. They're going to pick off Nunu because, well, Nunu is support, and supports are really easy to kill. And yeah, that's it. I mean, they're going to just own this turret now, because, well, who's going to stop them? Shyvana has to heal. Irelia isn't going to be able to stop them. Mordekaiser might be able to stop them, but is going to die if he runs in 1v4. And it seems that, yeah, whatever they do, as long as they stick together, this is going to be an easy win. 40k gold to 25k gold, that is 15k difference. That is a big deal. And 15k out of 25k. So the relative difference is growing even larger here, which normally we see that depleting over time, because, well, both teams will farm. But in this case, the TSM will not let Moscow 5 farm at all. They're taking all of their jungle, they're taking their minions, or their buffs, they're taking everything basically. Except for the waves of minions, which are pounding on their turrets and making sure that if they pressure one turret, the team has to defend that turret, so they cannot farm the minions from the other turrets without dying. And this Irelia, for example, is now overextending, and she might actually die if TSM decides to go for that. But instead they go for a dragon, increasing their gold lead even more. And they're going to push this bottom lane with the whole enemy team being out of place. And as soon as they notice that, they are going to push in and they're going to, yeah, there we go. They notice there's only one guy there and immediately dropping him, even though he gets an ultimate off. But yeah, the whole team was just elsewhere. They were all at red buff. And yeah, it seems that Kog'Maw did get the red buff, but he's going to give it to one of the enemy champions in a few seconds if he stays in. And a nice spell shield giving Sivir even more mana than she already had. And well, it's not going to matter anymore, especially with the blue buff on Cassiopeia, so she can spam even more. And there goes Kog'Maw. No, he's still alive, but for how long? Well, yeah, they're just going to run in and just kill everyone. It's about time. Yeah, Tryndamere going to just kill this turret, going to use his ultimate to get out of that, and now they're probably going to retreat in order to gain back some life. Well, at least the Tryndamere, but he can heal up. They have a healer still there, and now they're going to run out. Everyone is getting out safely. Nice spell shield once again. It seems that Sivir even has a blue buff. So I don't know how she got that, probably from one of the kills. But it's now 17 to 3. There is a 19k gold difference out of the 30 that that Moscow 5 have, and yeah, they will have to do something crazy in order to come back. If they're going to stay in their defensive positions, they're going to just get overrun. There is no way they can stop them. They have to do something crazy to come back, which is, for example, pushing mid lane with all of them and hoping that there will be a team fight where they can actually win. But if they just stay defensive, there is no way they can win. So TSM is going for Baron, it seems. Well, is actually warding up Baron. And I don't think they will actually go for it. I think they want to pretend to go for it. And then, yeah, get this going. Get the enemy team there, but the enemy team will be split when they come in. And they immediately drop Mordekaiser, they drop the Shyvana, and now they will just push the turrets and the inhibitors. Never mind the enemy team, it doesn't matter where they are. They're just going to kill the mid turrets, get the inhibitor, get the other turret, get the inhibitor, and just kill. Oh, hang on, the Nexus is completely open. Never mind. Both of the Nexus turrets were already down from the previous attack, and they're just going to kill it. So, easy victory. It's now 1-1 in games, and yeah, that was well played. I hope the last game will be more of a balanced game, although I like this game way more than what Moscow 5 has been producing, because they're doing the same trick over and over again, and there's just no one stopping them. And this time they got stopped, and they just had no answer to well, to that reply from TSM. It was definitely a good match. They got to counterpick Mordekaiser, which completely didn't work. I think the Galio ban was really good. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that before, but they banned Galio at least. That was really good, and I wonder what Moscow 5 is going to come up with for the last game. I think they will still do the same trick, because that's what has been working for them. And yeah, TSM proving they are a good team, proving they can actually handle the fact that Moscow 5 is really aggressive and has their own strategy, but proving basically that they can vary their strategy and adapt to the enemy in such a way that they can still win, even though the enemy has such an unorthodox way of playing. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the game. I will see you next time. GG.